Hi, this is Dr. Kimberley Linert, and you're listening to Incredible Life Creator Podcast. My guest today is Dr. Terence S. Young. Dr. Young is an OB-Gyn physician practicing medicine for 24 years. Starting 5 years ago, he started enhancing himself through personal development workshops and courses, understanding mindset, and developing the tools that hold people back from achieving the success they desire. He took the best of what he learned and wrote a book on personal development. The book is called Foundation, Focus, Freedom, and it was an Amazon bestseller. Now he is transitioning from full-time physician towards entrepreneurship, and he is building a public speaking platform and coaching services. Welcome to the podcast, Dr. Young.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Kimberly.
Yes. I'm so excited to find out about you and all the things you're doing, because it sounds like things are popping and happening for you real fast. So why don't you start out by telling us a little bit about you, like where you grew up, how you all started out, and how you got where you are today. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. Again, thank you for having me on the show. As far as me, myself, I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, and grew up a very shy person. Really didn't have a lot of friends, just kind of kept to myself. And I grew up with just that thought process. I don't know where it started from. I don't know who put the idea in my head as far as wanting to serve people, to help people through medicine. So that's always been a lifelong dream for me, being a physician, and I'm proud to say I've been able to provide that value and that service to women as an OB-GYN for the last almost 25 years now. And now I'm in a stage where I know that I want to be able to provide services to men and women from the health and wellness standpoint, but I wanted to be able to play on a much bigger field, because I felt that instead of being limited to seeing patients in the hospital, seeing patients in the clinic, where I can only do but so much, being able to reach a larger audience as an entrepreneur, but still maintain that health and wellness and service to other people.
Wonderful. And so how are you doing that?
I'm doing that through a lot of different ways. One is my speaking platform. That is really exciting because I'm working with a veteran in the speaking industry of over 20 years, getting my speakers reel finally produced in the next 3 weeks, actually in New York City, and then talking on a variety of different subjects. The big one that really is passionate for me is physician burnout, because physician burnout is as high as 50%. And I've been there in the past, feeling like not being able to provide the value and service to patients the way that they deserve, not having that balance of home and life, and then talking about that platform and helping physicians, and it can even apply outside of medicine, helping professionals to overcome those obstacles and challenges towards burnout and have a more fulfilling and successful career and opportunities going forward. And I'm also doing it through health and wellness with network marketing, as far as promoting health products that are really near and dear to my heart, to be able to help the community, because there is a massive concern with obesity, with diabetes within the community, especially in the African American community. So being able to assist people from the health and wellness standpoint on a much larger scale through network marketing, that really touches my heart as well.
Wow. So just going back to your 24 plus years as an OB-GYN, you've got to have some good stories. Any aha moments, any fun things you can share from that part of your life?
Yes, I remember one story where I had a patient that came in, and she was just at 31 weeks. And I had not met the patient before, came in with just heavy bleeding, scared, worried about her and her baby, and it was her first child. having to rush through an emergency C-section. And the problem was the pain control wasn't optimal. But in this type of field, you literally had minutes to be able to deliver the baby. So delivering the baby, not having the best pain medication, the patient being able to feel a lot. And after I finished the C-section, I just cried because I felt just so horrible putting the patient through all of that pain. Fast forward, when I started a 6-week checkup, I told the patient I was so sorry for putting you through that pain. And she gave me a hug and told me, "You saved my baby. You did what you needed to do, and God bless you. And I appreciate you for everything that you did for me and my family." And later went on to deliver her next couple of children. So moments like that are just fulfilling, where you had those couple of seconds of just chaos, but on the back end, it reminds me of why I got into the field in the first place, being able to serve people, being able to help people.
Yeah, oh, that's an awesome story. And, I know physicians like you are doing that day in, day out. And then we
Yes,
wonder why they're
absolutely.
burning out, because that's a lot of emotional, it's just a lot of emotional, things that go along with that too. So I thank you for that and for all the beautiful people we have in the world because of you.
Thank
At
you.
least you had a part of it.
Yes.
So, now you said that like 5 years ago, you kind of started enhancing your life through personal development. How did that happen? Like, why did you all of a sudden decide, I think I'm going to enhance my life with this? What happened that caused you to start that?
Well, what happened about 2 years before that, in 2011, I was 6 months into a new job. And what happened was I was abruptly terminated because after 6 months, I wasn't meeting their financial numbers. And typically, when you get to a new practice, you're there for a guaranteed 2-year salary. But I wasn't allowed that time to be able to build the practice. So I was telling myself, and this literally was a month before I was going to propose to my wife at that time. And I'm thinking, what am I going to do from a financial standpoint? I'm about to propose to my girlfriend, my wife of 7 beautiful years now. I just felt like my whole life was coming apart. And it just showed me that even as a physician, there was just no job guarantee. So I started thinking of different ways to get myself towards being my own boss, having multiple streams of income. But I realized one of the most important things to do that is just having the proper mindset. And that's what led me to start my journey with personal development.
Wow. And where did you start with that? I mean, so many people read, Think and Grow Rich, or where did you start?
I started with a ton of reading, things like you mentioned, Think and Grow Rich, The Science of Getting Rich, listening to a lot of the early pioneers like Bob Proctor, listening to Tony Robbins, and then going to various personal development courses. And then in time, transitioning from being a participant in some of those courses towards actually being the team leader in some of those courses and helping to lead others to overcome the obstacles and challenges that they were facing in their own lives. So it was just a progression from going from the personal development to getting more confident in myself, and then using that platform of being more confident within myself to start the real push towards entrepreneurship.
And then you say entrepreneurship. So you went from physician to working on yourself, your mindset, and then where does the entrepreneurship come in? How did that start?
That started with looking at different things to build multiple streams of income. And I've tried various things in the past, but I never really found an opportunity that really connected with what I wanted to do long term. Because as I said before, I knew that I wanted to maintain my involvement within medicine. So the latest endeavor that I'm doing is twofold. I'm still able to maintain my connections with medicine as an entrepreneur through public speaking and speaking events. That's the reason why I'm working with the speaking coach. And then also to help on a much larger scale with the network marketing, the health and wellness business, being able to push, I should say, products, be able to present products just to a larger audience in the community. It's just a win-win for me. It's a win for the people that I'm looking to service. It's a win for myself for growing multiple streams of income. And then along the way, also doing one-on-one coaching to help people develop that mindset. Because I was there. I was in that point where I just felt like things were hopeless, like there was no way out. And recognizing that fear is the biggest obstacle that prevents people from moving forward towards what they desire from a personal and professional standpoint, helping people to overcome that.
Yeah. And so you said you tried several things, but there is one thing that you got on fire about.
Yes.
What is that one product that is going to change the world?
That one product is a product that's called Emulin, and it's through a company that's called Valentis. And what's exciting about this product, it is a all-natural product that is made from plants and from fruits. And think of it as a vitamin-like substance. Like, for an example, you can take loads and loads of calcium, but you need vitamin D to help absorb it and make it more efficient. That's what the Emulin product does. It helps boost the efficiency of someone metabolizing their glucose. It also helps decrease the inflammation that people have from various things, from various diseases like joint disease or psoriasis or injuries, which can trigger an inflammatory process. There are many different disorders in medicine that are inflammatory based. So this product can, by helping decrease the amount of inflammation, can help with disease processes. It's not a cure at all for the diseases, but by managing the inflammatory process, you can help minimize the effects of many diseases or disorders that people have.
Exactly. And, inflammation is a big word, for people not in the medical community. I'm trained in bioenergetic medicine, and we are taught the levels of, that lead up to disease. And about the second or third level in is inflammation. Every disease comes from inflammation almost. So
Exactly.
if you can stop the inflammation, you can even prevent disease, or at least, slow it down, or maybe even eliminate it. So that is huge.
It's very huge. It's very huge. So the company is in a stage right now, and this is the commitment of the company. Right now, we're around the level where we are producing, to my understanding, about 10,000 packages or doses on a weekly basis. The company is looking to ramp that up to about 200,000 on a weekly basis, because they understand the value that this can provide to people. It's an international business, so we're in dozens of countries all around the world, because we want to get the Emulin product much more well known, because we understand the value and the benefit that it can provide to just so many people.
Yeah, that is awesome. And, just talk a little bit about how important it is to actually take care of yourself day by day to avoid those diseases.
It is extremely important. Health and wellness, optimizing your health and wellness is just the key to everything else. Being able to be healthy, you're going to be able to optimize your function at work. You're going to be able to have that energy and optimize your functioning in your communication with your family, with your children. Health and wellness is just, when I talk to people and I'm coaching them through any obstacles they have, that's one of the big things that I really have them focus on first, just their own body. Because you probably are familiar, if anybody's ever flown, you've gone on a plane, and the announcement that they have is, if the oxygen mask drop, put yours on first, and then you put it on other people. Why? Because you need to take care of yourself first. You're not going to be of value if you don't have your health optimized to be able to assist other people.
Mm-hmm. And then there's the other half of, why is it important to actually develop yourself or, your mindset?
Exactly. And that's a big thing too, because the healthier you are, the clearer mindset that you have, the more that you're able to think out of the box, be creative, have that mental discipline when you go through the ups and downs. Because especially when you go to entrepreneurship, you will have challenges. You're going to go through your ups and your downs. And having that mental fortitude to get you through the pitfalls, all those obstacles, it's going to be huge for you, because you got to think of the long game. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Yeah. So you need the actual physical health. You need your mindset right. So healthy body, healthy mind. And then how important is it for us to be doing what we love?
Doing what you love is everything. That's the reason why I still practice, because I love practicing. But I want to get myself to the point where I am practicing because I choose to, from a financial standpoint, not because I have to. There are so many people that wake up each morning and just don't have a passion about what they do, and that's just most unfortunate. It's the majority of people. So that's another thing that I try to do with people. I have my daily Facebook live videos. I've committed to doing Facebook live videos on a daily basis, because I want to provide people just constant value over and over and over. And probably 90% of what I talk about is mindset. Because if I can get somebody to get into the proper mindset to work more efficiently at the job that they have, or start developing the mindset to be able to get to the point that they want to be, that's going to be huge.
Yeah, that is really, really huge. And just as you're, overcoming the fear of going into something new, because there's always that fear. How important is it for you actually to diversify? Because so many of us we're just like in one profession for a lot of our lives, even now. But what happens when something happened like what happened to you, where we're just asked to leave, see you later. And that's
Exactly.
happened to me too, and it's not fun. Yeah.
No. So with diversification, that's one thing that I really stress. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have your full-time job and then a second full-time job. But for diversification, at least start that process of looking at things, especially things that you are really passionate about, to start to look at the different ways that you potentially can have part-time income or multiple income streams. So diversification is just very important, because you just never know. Things are just out of your control from a job standpoint. Your health and wellness can acutely get compromised, and you want to be able to have that, be in a situation where financially you can support your family, just mentally being able to support your family, because you understand, you've gone through it as well, how mentally crushing losing your primary source of income can be.
Yeah, it really can. And I know one of the subjects you talk about in your speaking is diversity and inclusion in the workplace, and just optimizing communication. How important is that, and how do you do that?
That is huge. It's very important, because you want to have a workplace where you have different sexes, different races, different cultures, being able to optimize the communication with one another. And that can be one thing why people are just so frustrated going to work. They may feel like they don't have a voice or they can't communicate effectively. So it's a lot that deals with language patterns. You may have language patterns from an African American standpoint that are different from the Caucasian standpoint. And each side can mean very well, but the interpretation of just little subtle things from a language standpoint can really cause people to get upset or annoyed or angry. So helping people to recognize those little language patterns, the tone, the pace, the words. If you get to that point where language is much more optimized, you're more efficient at work because you're communicating, you're working better as a team. You're going to work without that frustration, knowing that you have a voice, that you're able to communicate the things effectively that you want to your team and at the workplace. So it's optimizing diversity and inclusion is just a big step towards just getting a lot of things more efficiently running at the workplace.
Mhm. And how do you think you would do that? I mean, is it just stopping to, like, when you misunderstand something or take it the wrong way, if you will, to just stop and say, I'm not sure I understood what you're communicating or what you're saying? How do you actually do that in the workplace?
You can do it different ways, like one of the ways you just mentioned, stopping and getting clarification from the person. Another way is just saying, when you say something like that to me, this is how I interpret it, and this is the feeling that it triggers in me. I'm not saying this to be annoyed with you, but I think this is a teaching moment to understand that your language pattern is something that I interpret in a negative way. And I want to be able to address that so that we can move forward to make sure that that is not something that's communicated. And vice versa. There may be ways that I talk to you that aren't acceptable. So it's opening the lines of communication with each other.
Yeah. And I'm looking at, the different things that you actually speak about. Is there something that's your, like, favorite thing to speak about, or the one that's you're the most passionate about?
It's probably the personal development. So talking about the mindset,
Mhm.
that's what I love, because I know a lot of the things that I've overcome in my life when I look back at it, and it all goes back to just overcoming fears and obstacles, and that's the big thing that I do. I have that knack for overcoming the fears and obstacles that may hold the vast majority of people back, just because of my willpower and my determination. So just looking back and figuring out what is a way that I can be able to teach that to people in a way that's effective, in a way that sticks.
Yeah. Awesome. And I know you told me some exciting news that you just found out about today. So why don't you
Oh,
share that?
yes. I just found out that I will be in the March edition of Entrepreneur Magazine, and I'm part of a group underneath Angelina Music. And what she looks for, she has built a community of different types of people: business people, health and wellness, financial. Um, and she groups people that she knows that are very authentic, that are sharing a message that she really believes can provide value to many people. So being a part of her network, she was able to get into Entrepreneur Magazine, which I'm one of the featured people within that network. And then also in September, being able to be a participant of her workshop in Arizona as well. So that is just so exciting, being able to spread my message from a health and wellness standpoint, from a coaching standpoint. It's just exciting.
Yeah, that is exciting. And thanks for sharing that with us, and congratulations.
Thank you.
So if people want to hear you speak or contact you or learn about that amazing product you were talking about that reduces inflammation, how do they find you?
Well, to contact me to look at one-on-one coaching or to look at the different speaking platforms that I offer, they can go to www.terenceyoungmd.com. Most people spell Terence wrong, so it's TERENCEYOUNGMD.com. And from the emulant standpoint, they can go to younghealthyfitness.com.
All right, awesome. So one last question for you. I'm just so thankful that you were here on the podcast with me and sharing all your knowledge. And this last question is, what's your best advice for living a happy, fulfilled, amazing life?
Appreciate the day. Just waking up and being grateful for everything that you have, that you may not be in the situation that you want from a health standpoint, from a financial standpoint, emotional, mental, or spiritual standpoint. But I'm a big believer in gratitude, writing gratitude statements every morning, every evening. And the more that you appreciate where you are right now, the more blessings I truly believe that you're going to open yourself up to be able to get the life that you desire and even more importantly, the life that you deserve.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. You are such a blessing.
Thank you. And I do have one clarification because I think I gave you the wrong website from the emulant standpoint. So that's actually dryoungfitness.com. I want to clarify that.
Okay, dryoungfitness.com.
Yes.
All right. So if you're interested in the product, please go to that website. If you're interested in coaching from this amazing doctor, then please go to the TerenceYoungMD.com website. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on our show, Dr. Young.
Thank you, Kimberly. I appreciate you.
All right. We'll talk to you again soon.
Take care.